Okay, this is part 2 for those who are paying attention to the questions because I realized I've been talking way too much and I still have a bunch of questions to go through. And I'm seeing my bat wings coming through my shirt arms, so had to fix that. So I'm just gonna continue into the questions. If you want like the intro and stuff like that, please go to part 1. Have I ever cheated on a test? No. In fact, when I was in school, and even later when I took my GED, I was a great test tester. Yeah, test taker. I'm also a great taste tester, but I'm not being able to speak right now this second. So yeah, I sucked at doing homework at home because I had my problems at home and everything like that. But when it came to regurgitating the information, especially with the way I could remember things, taking tests was actually really easy for me. I'd ace most of my tests actually, unless I was super distracted and royally fucked up. And that people, there were a couple of times teachers would accuse me that I might have cheated because of the fact that I seemed to do so poorly when it came to doing my homework and stuff like that. And then here it was, but some of that was, I think, ADHD. Part of it, again, just terrible home life when I'm having to go home from school and take care of my 3 sisters and my mom and make sure that we had dinner and da da da. Homework just wasn't a priority for me. So, yeah, never cheated on a test. Even years later, like I dropped out of high school when I was 16, moved here from New Hampshire before I turned 17. Got my GED shortly before I had my daughter, Lysandra. So that was in 99. So some time had passed before I had actually even been in school. And I got some of the highest scores in the area. So, and I couldn't really study because with the way Lissa carried in me, my daughter's name's Lysandra. The way my daughter carried in me, it pushed on like my sciatic nerve and stuff like that. So I couldn't stand for long periods. I couldn't sit for long periods. So doing like the what do they call them? Prep classes? Yeah, I think that's what they called them. I couldn't really do those. So I went into the test basically blind and had no problems. Got my GED. I didn't have to take it apparently 3 times like Lauren Boebert did. I heard that and I just couldn't believe it. Okay, hidden talent. I had to think about this a little bit. Oh, apparently it's 1 o'clock. It's time to take my meds, but you can wait a minute. I think I'm actually a decent-ish singer. Like I sing along with my music. And like sometimes I ask Tom when I hear someone else like on a TikTok or something singing like badly, and I'm like, I don't sound like that, right? And he's like, no. So, I jokingly call it caterwauling, but apparently it's not that bad. And drawing. I'm actually pretty much self-taught as far as drawing goes. I should maybe try to get back into that. But attention span. I'd rather be doing things online, like playing games or whatever. That dopamine, man. So, people haven't seen my drawings and stuff, and a lot of people haven't heard my singing. So I guess that's what would classify them as hidden talents. So cooking's definitely not on there because people have tasted my cooking, and I seem to have a very good palate. Like, I can pull stuff out of my butt, throw it together, not literally, but figuratively, and it comes out amazing. And I'm not saying this just to make myself feel better. Like, these are the compliments I get because I have to ask, because I get so nervous feeding people because I don't know if they're going to like it or not. And so I have to check and make sure that they do. So yeah. Do I prefer shopping in a mall or online? I prefer online. I think part of that is because of my size. But even when it comes to like getting stuff for the home, it's just easier. Like, and especially with places like Walmart, Amazon, having sites like they do, like I can bargain shop. I can go on to Google, look for something, compare prices, and get the best price. So, I mean, malls are kind of dying out anyway. Ours is being remade into the Johnson City Commons, I think it's being called, or whatever, where Lords has set up their pavilion, where there's like a gym and their weight loss stuff, and there's a beer bar / restaurant. There's a Big Dick's Dick's Sporting Goods in there now, where I guess they're doing some sort of skating rink or something, I think, in the back to like be able to test their stuff, or I don't know. It's like it's not the mall that was. So yeah, definitely prefer shopping online anymore. Especially with money being hard to come by. It's I just get the better deals going online. What do I miss most about being younger? I wrote down working, but it's more than just working. Hold on a second. Had to dismiss my message to remind me to take my meds. But yeah, I miss being able to work, actually. It was actually another reason why I wanted to do this, so I was doing something. Because I miss having that paycheck, first of all. The fact that I make less than $1,000 a month right now on disability is sucky. But yeah, I mean, even doing part-time right now, minimum wage is almost 15, I think, in the area, or at 15. So I'd be doing a lot better if I was able to work. But also, I miss being able to help out at the Animal Care Council, which was a cat shelter local here. When I wasn't able to work because I had health issues and stuff, but it wasn't as bad as it was. Like, I had my stress related health issues. I was there almost full time. Like, I wasn't getting paid for it, but I was there. And I was able to socialize with the cats. Yeah, I had to take care of a lot of litter boxes and stuff like that, but I love animals and I love cats more specifically. And if I could, I'd be fostering right now, because so many animals deserve homes and they deserve care, and they're just not really getting it. And they don't do anything to deserve the treatment they do end up getting. And so I joke and I say I would be an eccentric cat lady. Not a crazy cat lady, because I understand that I need money to be a cat lady. So that's... if I ever did win the lottery, I'd be getting a house built for me and them. I'd hire people to come take care of them, and we'd all be living our best damn lives. The most trouble I had ever been in. Okay. Casey and the credit cards is what I wrote down. So this was before I met Tom, but shortly after I moved here. Another friend of mine who unfortunately passed, he helped me get out here after my mom's boyfriend had kicked me out. And he had another person move in. She went by Casey. Her initials. And she was apparently playing with credit cards that weren't hers. She bought us things using them. She paid for food using them. And eventually, the cops caught on. But me and Dan, that was my friend slash briefly boyfriend, we went to pick up the food. So we were caught up in things. Found out it wasn't the first time she had actually been in trouble for this. It's actually why she moved into this area from wherever fucking state she came from. But she blamed me and Dan for apparently pressuring her to do it. That we made her buy us things and made us buy the food. So she got a lesser charge for this. And me and Dan also got charged for this. But thankfully people liked me in the jail. It wasn't like the actual like Broome County Jail is where I went to. I was there for maybe a month. Because I was in possession of stolen property. But yeah, she was able to plead for the same thing, essentially. And so as I said in the last video, there was a time where I was more feral. This was that time. And as soon as she got dropped off, because she got dropped off maybe a couple weeks after I got let out, I kicked her ass. I was so fucking mad that she dragged me under the bus to get a lighter sentence. Dan too, because he had ended up losing his job and shit for it. And he was the only one of us working at that time. So it was ridiculous. So it was the first time I had ever gotten arrested for anything. It was the first time I'd ever been in jail for anything. And the only time, really. But as much as I was a punk and a delinquent, I knew how to skirt things. So I had never been in trouble before then. So yep. What would be my perfect day? Chinese food, followed by movies or video games, and time spent with Tom. Of course, this would be time spent with Tom where he was more of his old self. I mean, I would still spend time with Tom as he is today, but I do miss the old Tom. I miss that sharp wit, that intelligence. I still keep hoping he'll get it back. That, you know, once that swelling in that area fully subsides, I'll get him back. And coffee or tea? I wrote both, but also matcha, because I do. Matcha just kind of seems the best of both worlds, because you get the caffeine levels sort of coffee, but even on top of that, I like that grassy flavor that matcha has. And you get all the antioxidants and the other benefits of the whole leaf just being in there. And I do. I'm definitely team matcha. So, but I also enjoy coffee and tea, chai tea, green tea, but I'm trying to still find a sugar alternative that I could use for these that doesn't taste horrid, that I can use and not add a whole bunch of calories. That's been the problem there. So I've been doing a lot of the zero sugar energy drinks right now as far as caffeine. Would I go into space? If it was 100% safe to do so, like there was absolutely no chance that the spaceship would have an issue, or that I would be able to get to an escape pod in the manner, you know, like if something, like, then yes. Dinner with anyone alive? I picked Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen because, well, they're best friends in real life, and who wouldn't want to have dinner with Charles Xavier and Magneto? But also, they're fucking amazing and interesting people. So I would love to have dinner with them. Then the same question is asked, but with anyone dead, and I chose Anne Frank because, again, I think it'd be really interesting to compare notes. I mean, I know, yeah, there was her diary and all that, but to really hear what life was like during that time frame would be something, and maybe talk to her about how the world has progressed and not progressed. And I'm sorry, sweetie, but Nazis are still a thing. They just usually put Neo in front of it anymore. Best subject in school. It was both English and art. Especially in high school, those were like the two classes that I stayed around for. When I skipped the rest of the day, those were usually the two classes I hung out for, and then I was gone. And I'm sorry, I just noticed there's a fly in here. I don't know if it followed me when I came back into the apartment earlier, but that's gonna annoy the fuck out of me. I gotta order some fly strips apparently, but it's just the one. Who do you tell everything to? I mean, it's technically Tom, but I'm not really one to hold things back anyway. So, I wrote down that I'm usually honest to a fault, and I can be. I only if I know that potentially something I would say would be really hurtful to someone do I try to not say it. Or if I'm trying to be very careful with my wording. But aside from that, like, I'm usually just me. I mean, what has been here is who I am. How many people have I kissed? 23 males, 8 females. And that's almost exactly my body count, too. But there are a couple of people I kissed when I was like a kid. And, yeah, nothing happened besides that. So it would be, my body count would be 21 males, 8 females. Next question. If I had the choice, would I fly or be invisible? And I picked fly because I could then travel anywhere. And, I mean, that's still true. I mean, yeah, invisibility, I could rob a bank or whatever, but, I mean, that's still tricky, and there's still the risk you could get caught, and you now, if it was teleportation, that'd be a different story. But flying, yeah. Because then I wouldn't have to worry about cabs or, depending on rides to get anywhere, really. And I could travel across seas on my own. Just with, big, like, backpack or something to carry some clothes. How many pets would I want? I wrote down all of them with exclamation points. Because ideally, cats, dogs. Basically, if I could pet it, I would want to have it as a pet. Full stop. Animal companions are sometimes better than people companions. If you want to prove me wrong, come here. Yeah, so dream job, I wrote down to either be a vet tech or a voice actress. So, and the voice actress thing is actually something I've wanted to do for a while. I can do voices a little bit, like different pitches, stuff like that, and I can even do a little bit of an English accent. I think it's more of a proper Brit sort of thing, not Cockney or whatever. Superpower, I wrote down feral power set. For those who aren't nerds, that's like, the Wolverines and stuff like that. So heightened senses, healing factor. Oftentimes there's some sort of bioweaponry clause involved. So that's what I would want ideally. Best feature, my eyes. I'm going to try to look closer at the camera here for a second. Though I'm going to not look directly at I'm trying to look at the viewfinder directly. So, excuse the redness, but there you go. They're kind of a gray blue, and then they have that kind of like ring outside, like a husky. What do I want to improve about myself? My weight and my health. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand there a little bit. A secret about me no one knows. This is the one that was a tiny bit embarrassing, still is, but I'm going to answer it. Pets. I like to be petted. On top of the head, along the back. It's a very soothing thing that I enjoy. Or on occasion when Tom would praise me, he would give me a pat on the head. And he loved that it would make me blush and seem bashful. And I do, I guess, blush and act bashful at times. So, yeah, that's a thing. It's a thing for me. What actor or actress do I like the least? Fucking Goop. Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh my fucking Jeebus. That woman. I'm not knocked over by her acting, first of all. Never. And I've seen her in a few things. I don't. And I didn't even really like her interpretation or what they gave her to do as Pepper Potts. Didn't like it. Nope. But as a person, she feels just so out of touch. But she tries to be like a white Oprah. And so she sells these outrageously overpriced and potentially dangerous things like her exploding vagina candles and her jade eggs that you put up your fucking vagina. And she also like wanted women to steam up there, which no, don't do it. Don't do it. Then there was her cookbook where apparently it could cost over $200 just to make one fucking meal out of that book. I just have problems with her. I do. I'm sorry, but I do. I do. Where would I rather live? A penthouse or a farm? I put penthouse. If my pain issues weren't what they were, farmhouse. Because I could see myself doing the farm life, taking care of animals, not making them dinner. I'd have to take them somewhere to get them processed for that. But, having people do the gardening, the farmland gardening stuff for me, with tractors and whatnot, and just enjoying that kind of Schrute Farms life. But, I mean, penthouse, I can take care of that myself. I can have my pets. I can be self-sustaining, essentially, there, have a nice big place to do what I want. Preferably with an elevator. Most penthouses have that, so, that's a thing. So that's why I wrote that. And if I could get like a penthouse that was either very modern or had like that loft sort of brick-like look to it, I'd be really down with that. I always wanted to live in a loft sort of apartment. I don't know why, but that whole open concept, just the fact that it was like formerly a factory or whatever, and now it's a home, like, it just appeals to me. What animal do I think I resemble most? I put cat, because it's true. There's the fact that I walk so lightly. There's my ADHD. There's the fact that I like my pets. The light sleeping. The fact that my body keeps wanting me to be on a third shift sort of schedule when I sleep. Like, cats are my people, and it's just what it is. Let's see. Favorite drink? As far as non-alcoholic or even alcoholic, but for non-alcoholic, I wrote down cider. And for alcoholic, I wrote down mudslides. I grew up in the New England area, so apple cider is like so good. So good, especially when you have like the cinnamon and stuff in it. Spice cider is amazing. Favorite breakfast food? Bacon with 3 exclamation points. I joke, and one of the things my mottos, I guess you can say, is the answer is always bacon. Like, if they could crack a good actual like vegan bacon, I could see myself doing more of the vegan thing, because like Impossible Meat's actually pretty decent and stuff like that, but I need bacon, man. I love bacon. I do. I'm sorry, but I do. First memory. Oh, all I wrote was bloody nose, but oh fuck. Okay. So this is story time. At first I thought it was just a reoccurring like dream when I was growing up. And it wasn't until I actually talked to my mom about it that I came to discover that it wasn't just a dream, but it was actually something that I was remembering when I was apparently 3. So it was one of the times that my mom actually had a job, and she had a friend of hers babysitting me. Her friend had 2 kids, 2 boys. And I don't remember what she left to do. Like, she wasn't in the living room area. She like went somewhere else in her apartment. And she had this couch that looked like it could have been an outdoor couch. Like people might consider it nowadays to be an outdoor couch because the frame was mostly like a wood frame that you kind of screwed together or bolted together. And then the cushions kind of like rested on top of it. But her sons had actually found the tool to unbolt the couch. I know, and it seemed like this is what I thought was just a reoccurring dream that I had. So they took apart the couch. She comes back. And because they're older, they're like a couple years older or something, they blame it on 3-year-old me. And I'm trying to tell her that, no, I didn't do it. But she's insisting that I go into a corner. And I'm fighting her because I didn't do the damn thing. So why am I going to go in the corner? And as we're fighting to get me in the corner or not get in the corner, she basically gets my nose right in the corner. And I didn't know it right in that moment, but she hit my nose hard enough that it started bleeding. But I'm standing there in the corner, I'm crying because I'm hurting. And I don't know how long it was, but it didn't feel like it was that long before my mom came to get me. But I mean, I was 3, so my recollection could, I don't know. It could have been 15 minutes. It could have been 30. I just don't know. But she did show up, and her friends explaining what happened and why I was in the corner, and my mom, turned me around to scold me, but then apparently she saw my face. And so she starts scolding her friend, and we go down the stairs from her apartment to head out, and she never took me back. But yeah, my mom told me that when she turned me around, apparently blood had dripped all the way down my body. Like it went down my shirt, down one of the pant legs. Like it had been dripping for a while. So apparently it was only afterwards that she got it out from me that I told her I didn't do it. But because of what happened, like, she didn't take me back. Which was great, and then also weird because of all the abuse that still went on as I was growing up from either her or her friends at the house or her boyfriends, or like, if only I could have kept having that mom that day, So yeah, apparently that was my first memory, but I didn't know for a long time, because I think we discussed this when I was 12. That's when I finally said that occasionally I keep having this dream, and my mom was like, no, that's not just a dream. So, cutest animal, cats. Though foxes are up there for me I love foxes. Even the fact that I know some people might not like the different pitches of noises that they make, but I find them fucking adorable. And they are so expressive. And yeah, I think they're great. Favorite TV show growing up? Oh, I didn't write just one. Star Trek: The Next Generation, Friday the 13th, the series, Freddy's Nightmares, The Simpsons, South Park, Beavis and Butthead, and the X-Men. There's probably other ones, but these are the ones that I could remember at the time. These are some shows that I've actually been able to watch again, and just enjoy. Not so much The Simpsons. Like, The Simpsons and Family Guy have sort of dropped off for me. Because they both have the same problem for me. And that is the way that the husband, whether that's Homer or Peter, treats their wife, Lois or Marge. I know I mixed up the pairings, but if you watch the shows, you know who I mean. So, basically how they treat them, and then, like, they even on the episodes where it's so much and they dump them, they get back together. And it's like, no, don't do that. Maybe have them actually split up, or have them actually learn to be decent fucking men. You can have a lot of other things be funny and not have them just be shitholes. So that's, do I prefer cold or warm weather? Cold, because you can add layers, I just like sweating. I do. At any point, I just like sweating. So, hot weather is not for me. Favorite color? Royal blue. Yes, I'm that fucking specific. I used to not be, but I don't know. It just, over time, it evolved, and royal blue specific, like, it's definitely the shade of blue that I like. I like blue in general. I like purple, like jewel tones. Overall, I enjoy, but royal blue just specifically is my most favorite. Do I like indoors or outdoors better? Outdoors. Kind of went into that, I think, in part one. Favorite cuisine? Chinese American. Almost anything with rice is definitely a big win for me. It's always been the way I feel growing up. Especially jasmine rice. Oh, and brown rice I've discovered in like the last couple years. And brown rice is fucking good too. I'm cussing more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just realized that. But yeah. But fried rice, stuff like that, it's my comfort food. Whenever I've had a bad day, or if I get to like go out to eat for my birthday or whatever, and people ask me what I want, Chinese food. That's my answer. So, video games, I wrote in all caps and with an exclamation point. Yes, I do. Big video game person, but I'm weird about it. Like, I either like farming sim type games or some type of horror games. Like Stardew Valley, Don't Starve Together, Resident Evil, My Time in Sandrock, The Sims, just, it's either sim games of some sort or survival horror. I guess I'm a girl of extremes sometimes. Good singer, I think. Question mark. Would I ever start my own business? I wrote yes. Cat cafe / adoption site. Yeah, that was my part, potentially my idea of basically having like at one side of the business being an actual bakery with cute animal themed like stuff, and then the other half being like a cat cafe where you could go spend time with cats, all the cats being able to be adoptable, working with the different shelters to bring those cats over so they can be showcased essentially to be adopted, and help, do something to get cats homes, but also give them, in the meanwhile, the cat's a nice, safe place to be, where they're being petted and fed and taken care of. But most times I don't even have the dollar to have a dream at right now. So that's on the farthest back burner. So, do you stay up late? Night owl. My body keeps wanting me to be up third shift. Like from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. That's when I always feel like my most productive. And then I have to try to get on the sleep schedule all over again, which is a pain in the ass. Oh, such a pain in the ass. Because, most appointments happen during the day. And then, I can't really do them at home. I wish, but no. So, as much as I would love to just be third shift living, it's not sustainable for what I want to do overall. Favorite song? It's currently Rock Show by Halestorm. It sort of encapsulates how I feel about music in general. So I suggest you give it a listen. Apartment or house, I wrote condo / apartment. I don't think I have the ability to maintain a house, but an apartment, yeah. Like when I have a portable dishwasher. When that got clogged, I went on YouTube and figured out how to unclog it, and it worked. So little things like that I can do, but the fact that we have a maintenance man here and a lot of our other things are taken care of, there's safety in that. Yeah, I have to pay rent to somebody every month and stuff like that, and technically I don't own the place. That's why I wrote down condo. Like, if I could own this apartment, I'd be happy, honestly. So that'd be ideally where I'd want to be, in some sort of I own my apartment situation. The question was lake or ocean. They didn't clarify further than that, so I wrote living near ? Lake. Oceans, I mean, they get cold, and during the winter, I mean, that sucks even worse. So living near a lake, I think, would be preferable. Because like during the spring and summer and even early fall, I mean, you could swim, maybe even fish, depending. So yeah, I mean, I prefer being near a lake. Mountains or jungle? I wrote mountains. Less things to kill you. Because in the jungle, there's big things, there's little things, poisonous things, like, it's like Australia, but jungle, How tall? five and a half. Yeah, I'm counting every bit of an inch because I'm a girl and I'm short. Favorite holiday, Halloween. Favorite season, I actually wrote my seasons in order from favorite to least favorite. So it's fall, spring, winter, then summer. Hot dogs or hamburgers? Burgers. I mean, I like hot dogs too, but burgers more, especially when you get to add, like fresh onions to it, lettuce, tomato. Um, I don't like a burger just as a burger. And I don't like cheese on my burgers, but I like bacon on my burgers. um, I mean, on occasion, I'll take it as a cheeseburger if that's the way it comes. Like, I'm not fussy. Like, too fussy, I should say. Because sometimes I can be fussy, but not too fussy. But yeah, I prefer burgers. Favorite pizza topping? I couldn't choose one. So I just wrote down pizza types. I wrote supreme, steak and cheese, and that's like when they do the steak bits with mushrooms, onions, peppers, and Hawaiian. Yes, I like pineapple on my pizza sometimes. And preferably with ham and bacon. So, and then I also wrote down calzone because I like calzones because I love ricotta cheese. And if the calzone doesn't have ricotta cheese, it's just a fucking Hot Pocket, okay? But I like broccoli and bacon in my calzone. Lazy or motivated? I wrote ADHD. So it's kind of like the tides. Sometimes you're more motivated to do something. Other times, I just want to do one more round of Candy Crush or whatever, and then it turns into 10 more, and then so that's why I don't consider it so much lazy, but it's, in a way, I guess it could be seen that way, but it's ADHD. Question was, sidekick if I were a superhero. I really didn't see myself having a sidekick, so I just wrote team ups with Spider-Man or Deadpool. Because I could definitely see myself superheroing it up in New York City and occasionally webbing it up with Spidey or... I do love me some Deadpool. Like, he is so fucking funny. And sometimes I have his sense of humor. Like, I have a sense of humor that crosses between Spider-Man, punny, and everything else, and then Deadpool's kind of more morbid shit. So, zombie apocalypse plan. Hold up in a Walmart. Especially if you have one near you with, like, the lawn and garden stuff. You can be set for a while. So, yeah, that's always been my idea. You try to get some, you make sure that lawn and garden's out as much as you can. You take that manure and whatnot and set up some plots. You get some stuff growing. Then you have the canned food and stuff to hold you over first. I mean, that'd be the way to do it. I mean, they have the jarring kits there. You gotta boil water and just, you can jar what you're growing and you could be set for a good while. Do I believe in aliens? Yes. I don't believe they've actually visited us yet. But I believe there's other planets with life out there. I don't know if they've gotten to the point where they could travel the stars either, because, I mean, we haven't. But I can't believe we're the only planet in all the planets. I just can't, But if they look at our TV signals and they could get here, I don't think they'd come around. I mean, look at not only our political leaders, but also shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Why the fuck would they want to be here? Do I believe in ghosts? No. But I already kind of went into that. I don't believe there's anything of an afterlife. I wish I did, but would I go to Mars? Not through Elon. No, I don't trust any of his stuff, which is a shame because I like the thought of the whole self-driving car thing and everything that his cars have, but I don't trust it. I don't. I'm hoping eventually a better company will also have that option, like Toyota or something. But worst nightmare. Oh, there was one I had for a while that was me and recurring dreams, man. Oh, this was another one I started having in my teenager years. And I was actually a successful writer, but through different things that happened in my life, I lived alone. I lived alone in a big house. And not to drag it out, but I get murdered in my bedroom. And I remember like the little details, like my bedding, like my comforter was teal. And I actually had one of those Ebenezer Scrooge 4-poster beds with the curtains and shit like that. Because I still think those beds are cool. But yeah, somebody came to rob my place, found I was there, and they stabbed me and I bleed out. And my brain was morbid enough that it would almost feel like I was actually dying. At least to me, it felt that way. So yeah, it was pretty morbid. Introvert / extrovert ? I wrote, why not both ? Because I am like, I can be very outgoing, but I'm cool just staying home. I mean, but I'm also good going out. Like, if someone's like, hey, you want to go out to XYZ? Yeah, cool, let's go for a bit. You know? I'm kind of just hanging at home. I'm good with that too. I mean, I do want social interaction, but if I don't have to leave home to do it, I'm cool with that. So yeah. Food you dislike. Avocado. Sorry guys, I don't like avocado. I don't know if it's a spectrum thing, but it's again one of the reasons why I think I am. But it's the consistency. It's that fatty, greasy kind of consistency that avocado has. Like, even when it's in guacamole form, like it just coats my mouth that way, and I don't like it. So yeah. Religious. I wrote down wistful atheist. So I tried to be one that believed in something more, something greater, but I can't. Like, with all the shitty things that happened either to myself or happening in the world in general, I just can't. But I usually don't get on the cases of people that do. I think it's great that you can believe in something more, that it helps give you some sense of safety, purpose, you know, what it does for you. unless you're turning it into essentially a weapon, a hate-filled weapon, like the people that use it to go after gay people or people of a different color, or if you're using it for any sort of bigotry, I don't want it. I don't want it near me. I don't want you near me. That's also why I have a big issue with religion. Too many people use it in those sorts of ways. So I wish I could believe that there was something looking out for us, but no. Would there be anything to change about my upbringing if I could? I wrote no, because maybe then I wouldn't be where I am today, and for as much as the suck that's going on through it with Tom's cancer and stuff like that, I've been more happy than not, so I'm where I want to be. Favorite car, I wrote down a Mustang or a Jeep. I always liked the look of Mustangs. Some of the newer ones I like their look even better, but I always wanted a 1980 Mustang, because, the year I was born and all, but a good friend of mine who sadly passed away some years ago, also from cancer, he liked to have Jeeps, and they were actually pretty cool. He didn't have like the Jeep that you could detach the top and stuff like that. He had like a Grand Cherokee, and I liked the fact that you could do a lot with it. Like, you could have a bunch of people, cart big things in it. It was a good utility vehicle, I guess you could call it. And he had it in this hunter green color that was actually really nice. So yeah. Star sign, Libra. And as much as sometimes that stuff is all like bunk and whatever, Libra actually really fits for me. And I'm left-handed to boot, so yeah, a lot of that actually is accurate for me. The shiny things, again, goes into the cat-like personality too. I used to have this keychain that had so many keychains on it that had like glittery things, and that would clack and click, like, because there were so many things on it that every movement I made, it would just make noises as they banged together, like. Oh, my ADHD has always been so terrible. If I could travel anywhere in the world, I wrote down Cat Island, which is a specific island in Japan. That was another one of those, if I could ever win the lottery situations, I would move there, and help pay to set up a vet clinic, because sadly they don't really have one there, but they have all these cats, and they have a big aging population there with the Japanese people, so the cats aren't being taken care of as well. So I would not just travel there, but I would like to live there. And yeah, I would set up a clinic, have it ran by an actual staff, and have them going around TNRing the population, and just taking care of them, because sometimes they're not looking so great, and I feel terrible when I see them in videos, and I just want to love them and take care of them. And okay, shut up. Sorry, my watch. Best piece of advice I ever received. No one will look out for you first. So you have to put yourself first. I'm terrible at it, but it's still the best piece of advice I ever got. Because it's true. Everyone else is going to look out for themselves first and foremost. Or at least most will. I shouldn't use an absolute because I don't follow that rule. But most people do. But yeah. Always try to take care of yourself better because you're the one who's going to look out for yourself best. If you could only eat one type of food, I wrote Chinese fried rice because I didn't know if Chinese would be the type or if I had to be more specific. So there we go. Apparently people are posting a lot of videos on YouTube right now, and that's what my watch is beeping. I'm sorry. If I could change one thing about the world right now, I wrote down more empathy. And yeah, I think if more people could try to be more understanding of other people's positions and gave more of a shit, be a little less selfish, I think the world would be in a better place. But we're not. If I could meet any celebrity and why, I wrote Hugh Jackman because he's single now. I mean, I'm sorry that he is, though, because I know he was with his wife for a very long time. And, you know, they ended up adopting their kids. And it was such a sweet relationship. And it is sad that it ended. But at the same time, dude's single now. And he's still hot as fuck. So, yeah. If I could have any animal as a pet, I wrote down tiger. Because, I mean, tigers are just, they're fucking huge and they're beautiful and they're still also kind of scary. But could you imagine just sleeping next to one and they're just purring away, and you know that if anyone came to fuck with you, they'd be dead in a second. Like, it's a bit of safety there. Yeah, I don't got issues. If I could learn one language and why, I put Japanese. Even though I don't really watch anime anymore, I still listen to a lot of Japanese music. J-metal, J-rock, J-pop, One OK Rock, Baby Metal, Lady Baby, Gact. Like, there's still, you know, a lot of music that I listen to, and I can sing along with it very well, but if I could understand it better, it'd be great. So that's my 2 p.m. med reminder. Just getting rid of that. I'm almost done. 3 more questions, guys. Live in any city in the world. I picked New York City. I mean, I think it's kind of obvious, but like Boston, it's such a melting pot. It has so much different cultures. You know, it's one of the places the UN meets. I mean, the different food, music. If I could afford it, I'd be there. There's so many things to do. So many things to do there. I mean, it'd be great, honestly. If I could be any character from a book or movie, why? I hope comic books count, because I wrote down Spider-Gwen. I mean, spider people in particular, I think are some of the best characters in Marvel. just who they are at their core. Good people that just want to do good things for the world. Even if they fuck it up sometimes. I'm looking at you, Peter. They go through so much and yet they keep doing it. That type of fortitude, that dedication, that with great power comes great responsibility. They're amazing. As I know they're not real, but as characters, they're amazing. And so, Spider-Gwen. That's why she's been my icon on a lot of my chat stuff for a while now. If I could invent anything and why, I wrote True AI. And I mean True AI like Vision from the comics, or, Jarvis / Vision from MCU. What we have right now, like Bard and things like that, that's not real AI. They're just regurgitating. They're not actually independently thinking, and they're certainly not feeling, and they're not what Asimov wrote about. They're not. It's not what people are afraid of or should be afraid of. Even True AI, I don't think should be something they should be afraid of, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, that if I could, that's what I do, and I would have done it 4 years back, so I could have had it copy Tom, and so I'd always be able to have a part of him around. And I think that's one of the things that, if we ever can get AI, I think that would be one of the best things about it that people don't realize that we could have is a companion that won't get sick, that we can't really lose. And maybe that's why some people are afraid of it, and that if they think about it, but not me. I think that would be amazing. Someone to just be able to communicate with and hold conversations with that won't go anywhere. But that's it. I've gone over an hour again. So I'm gonna work on getting these up today. So I'll give you guys one of my mottos. Don't fuck with the people that handle your meds or your food. And everyone have a great day and great rest of the week. Bye.